Hello friends, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for joining me for another crafty venture. Today is our project reveal and process video for the wonderful projects that I made using the pulls that I created with my DIY texture plates. So we are just going to jump right in to this one, which is the highlight of everything that I've done, and I just wanted to go ahead and start off with a bang. So in my other videos I talked about sometimes the gel plate print becomes the focal point of whatever your project is going to be, and sometimes it becomes a background. With this one, it had to become my focal point, so just trimming it down, losing as little bit of that grunge as I can, because that's the sweet spot now, is that grunge and all those layers. And even the excess that I cut off, it's not really excess, but it does become some other projects here in a minute. So allowing the gel plate print to be the focus, I just chose a simple classic bee and honeycomb theme, and I've got the die cuts from the honeycomb die cut or die set from Whimsy, and it's just surrounded by these sweet frames from the Sprinkles frame set, which was new in February. And I just love how when it's all coupled together, those frames kind of enveloping the honeycomb cutouts as well as that sweet fussy cut bee just draw your eye in, but still allowing that gel plate print to shine. I love that. That glorious grunginess all around the edges, the teals, the olives, the browns, the rusts, all that pops through. It just, love it. So instead of saving this for the last, I just wanted to go ahead and start off with a bang. Now I have to say that the honeycomb die cuts were just cut from some teal and green scraps from my trash. And then the way that I colored the bees was not on purpose to match with those scraps, but they do perfectly. And it's serendipity, baby. I love it. So again, just allowing that gel plate print to be the focal point of this particular project, and I can't love this enough. This will stay up in my craft space. It is going to become a permanent fixture here. I love it. Tell me what you think. So using the scraps, I had to make these ATCs. So I could not allow that glorious grunginess to go to waste. So I decided to keep on the bee theme and continue to use these Sprinkles frames. They are sized perfectly for ATCs. The smallest one in the set is 3.5 by 2.5, and it's perfect for ATCs. That's exactly the size. So just using some other bee stamps and the word beautiful from the set, just making a little pattern paper, if you will, just to kind of adorn or embellish the right side of each card. Now some of them I have landscape, some of them I have portrait. It just kind of depended on the size of the scrap, to be honest. So I allow the art projects to dictate to me. Like I said before, let the art tell you what it wants to be. It already knows. We just have to listen. We have to hear it. And I know that might sound a little flighty or whatever, but that's the way I feel about it. So in the same way I talk about showing ourselves grace, do that with your art too. It knows what it wants. It may just not know how to communicate it to you. So again, going back to being gracious and kind to yourself and just walking away if you need to. So using those same honeycomb die cuts, I actually cut them in half, and then all of these hexagons, some people would throw away. I say, don't. Use them in strategic places on the card just to add a little bit more dimension and interest, but also save them for another art project. I've used quatrefoil cutouts that I stacked up and used all around the exterior, kind of like a frame on an art journal spread. Just keep those things because they are definitely fodder for other art projects. So hold on to those. So again, adorning with the die cuts, with the hexagonal scraps, and then of course the bees. I've got them all stamped out. I have them colored up, as I said, serendipitously. They completely match the die cuts. It just kind of blows my mind. We'll see them all put together in a minute. But then I have to employ these fussy cut skills. Like, I'm a fussy cutting fool sometimes, guys, and my tiny little scissors just work perfectly. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, all cut out, popped up on some adhesive tape, double-sided adhesive tape. And then I just have to kind of fuss and fidget and audition all over the stage on each card to figure out where I want my key player there for each one. So I'm really happy with these. Get them all laid down just where I wanted them to be in just the right spot for each card. And then it wouldn't be complete without the splatter. So pulling out the Posca pens, a little bit of black, a little bit of yellow, and just loads of splatter. Now you see where that splatter is going, right? It's going all over my work surface, all over my desk, not just on those cards. So, y'all, I've told you before, I can't let that go to waste. So this is kind of a journey through my brain, a journey through my process, and it's the start of another project. This is often how my projects come to life. They just start like this. So yeah, that's what I do. So these are my 4 close-ups. Now that one has a little bit of like a glitter paste, if you will, through the stencil, because that particular scrap didn't have any of the honeycomb pattern, and I wanted at least a little bit. So all of them up close and personal. You can see how the die cuts match the coloring of the bees. I just can't. I don't know. But anyway, there they are in all of their glory. I think they're fantastic. Now I have to say, side note, I have 3 sets of ATCs now. I need to trade with somebody. So y'all drop me a note downstairs if you're up for an ATC trade, because I'm in. I'm ready to start building my collection of other people's art. So third and final project today. Actually, that's going to be 4, 5. These are 6 and 7, right? Because each one is individual. So using that twinkle pull, well, let me rephrase that. It's the pull that I created with the twinkle stencil and the DIY texture plate with that stencil. So now I'm going to use the same stencil, kind of repeating that pattern with this DIY purple gel glitter paste. It is a gel, but it's a glitter. That's the key here. So obviously I wanted to repeat the pattern, but I wanted to add another fun kind of unicorny color. And again, I can't let it go to waste. There's so much on my spatula. There's so much left over on the stencil. I'm just scraping it off and putting it on 2 more tags. So that's 2 projects now that I have waiting in the wings. We'll see what they become. So I colored up these sweet unicorns from the Unicorn Kisses stamp set, and I am using some vellum to create these wings from the, I think it's called the Gothic die set. And I just thought, just adding something kind of extra, something kind of special to just give them a little more presence, even though the vellum is, it's very translucent. You don't really see it except up close. But how cute is that? Doesn't that just give their wings an extra level of presence? His are huge. His are great big wings. I love it. So with all of the pattern and texture going on the prints, on the background, with the addition of the glitter paste put through the stencil, that adds another layer, both of visual and physical texture. So these little guys need a landing place, right? So I'm creating 2 little scenes. One is circular, as you can see. The other is rectangular. These are dice from my stash. You already know about the sprinkles. I've used it on all the projects. And then the round one, I believe, is called the scallop circle die. I'll have everything listed and linked downstairs. But again, because that background, even though it's kind of pale, it's not really pastel, but it's not quite as bright as some of the other things that I've created. But the eye, again, needs a place to rest, and the unicorns need a landing spot. So these little scenes create just the perfect avenue for both of those. So, but you remember in the other video, I mentioned how sometimes your pull gets covered up by other elements. So whether it's, stamping, or you're using it for die cutting, or you're layering it like this, or adding extra stencils, or whatever you might be doing, a lot of it gets covered up. A lot of it doesn't. Sometimes it shines as the main project. Sometimes it's kind of a I don't know, what's another acting term? Maybe it's feature player? I don't know. Y'all help me out. My acting vocabulary is not coming to me. Anyway, so in the case of these two cards, actually the unicorns take center stage, if you will, and not so much the backgrounds. The backgrounds are supporting players. Maybe that's the term I'm looking for. But there's so much glitter and shine, and my camera just isn't picking it up. So there's glitter and shine in the glitter paste. There's glitter and shine in the embossing powder that I emboss these images with. And there's Wink of Stella all over them, on their hooves, their wings, their tails, their hats. So much Wink of Stella, but it just isn't being picked up by my camera. So that makes me sad. But here we are to recap. I get out of breath. I get so excited. I'm sure you guys catch that from time to time. Like, what is she doing? Why can't she breathe? Because I get very excited about my art, guys, and I love to share it with you. I love that you meet me here time after time. I love your support, your friendship, your comments, all the things. So, with all that being said, know that I appreciate you, that I love you. I would love to know what your favorite is, if you have a favorite, what you might like to see me make next. And, if you're not already a subscriber, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Come back, be part of my crafty tribe. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted every time I post a video. And, again, let me know what you want to see. And until next time, guys, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for going on this DIY texture plate project with me. It's been fun. It's been a journey, and I've enjoyed every second. Thanks, guys. Mwah. I'm out.